Yep. What the dealio?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm alive. I don't know how most people take that. Just about anybody, you be like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'll be like, "I'm alive," and they look at me like I'm saying it as, are you having a bad time, or are you not liking this place that you're living in?"
It's like, no, I got nothing else for you.
I mean, I woke up this morning. I'm breathing.
Yeah,
I'm alive,
yeah.
and I can't put my glasses on. I was trying to catch up on all the things. All right, I'm gonna ask you the same question.
What do you got?
So if somebody that you know, significant other or anybody, asked you, I mean, they casual wrestling fan, they only know about wrestling because you know about wrestling. They talk to you sparsely about it.
Mm-hmm.
If they came up to you and it was like, "Oh, is Finn Balor still wrestling?" Yeah, yeah. Is Finn Balor good? So how would you address that portion of it? Is he good?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm of two minds. Because this is how it hit my ears or whatever. She's like, "Is Finn Balor still good?" And I'm just like, "What do you mean? Like skill wise or persona?"
Yeah, yeah. Because skill wise, fine. Yeah, he's still fine.
Yeah.
Persona wise, I don't know what he is. Yeah.
Shades of gray.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd bring that to you. I don't know why, but it hit my ear weird, and I was just like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
My wife asked me that shit, and I was like, "What the fuck? What do you mean?" Yeah, because as a person that for the longest just been talking about and covering wrestling for week to week or however, it's just like to ask a question like that. I'm just like, there's so many layers to that. Could you be more specific? I'm used to like casual wrestling fans or just like non-wrestling fans to be like, is he a good guy or a bad guy? Now, if she would have said that, I'm like, oh yeah, he a bad guy right now.
Yeah. You're not used to somebody wanting details.
Yeah, no shit. Like, but whatever. All right, so what do you want to? Because what we did, we got to cover Sega Genesis.
You're trying to think. Yeah, we were right before Sakura Genesis when it was the last one.
Yeah, Windy City Riot.
Yeah, I think Sakura Genesis is the only thing I don't have in my notes. Let me pull that up real quick so I can have it.
Yeah, why you do that? I guess I could do an intro, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, it won't take me just a second.
Here we go. You are now listening to Random Ramblings with Rob. Yay! Yeah!
This is the anthem. You're ready for some random shit from Rob? Now everybody stand up and lift your arms. Put your hands in the sky like you're pinching stars. Go piss on Mars. What? It's so random. It's all gravy. The podcast is Rob's. Yeah, go crazy. Yup.
And all kind of shit like that.
That's what Rob says when he runs off track. Fun fact, tuck that in your brain. Fuck that, nutsacks, we act insane. In the fast lane, still smooth like butter. Rob, dude, you one cool ass brother.
Motherfucker.
You might hear that about every other word, but who's keeping camp? The ramblings get so random, what's happening? I'm babbling so much you can't handle me. Chattering teeth sound like a battle axe bashing the beat. Don't laugh when I speak, cause really, we're just some idiots. I ain't talking about a little bit, I'm talking fully illiterate. Like little kids trapped in a grown man's body. Acting a fool like Lindsay Lohan party. Like it's a party of life, we party all night. Blackout, that's how we party it right. Hit the Walmart cause we bored as shit. Instagram and upload the vid. look at Rob hanging out in the Walmart for no reason, just Instagramming. He got his phone out, walking around looking at himself like, hey, look at me, I'm walking through Walmart. It's so random, Rob. It's so random, but that's what we love. Random ramblings with
Motherfucking
random
freaking
ramblings,
motherfucking
random
freaking
ramblings, random ramblings, random ramblings, blah 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 blah.
You need to unmute my microphone before I even start talking words and stuff. But welcome to another edition of the Random Rambles with Rob podcast. I'm your host, B Rob. And I forgot my intro because I just threw myself off by not having my mic unmuted and stuff. But like, I'm here. First and foremost, thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week or however you listen to podcasts. And if you're a first-time listener, I'd like to thank you oh so much for giving my show a try. And if anybody recommended you to me, I would like for you to give that person a crisp high five. Can you, like, you're on the other side. There you go. But if you're not in that person's general vicinity or you feel weird about slapping hands with your homie or stranger that may have came to you on the street and be like, hey, you ever heard of the Random Rambles with Rob? Because that would be cool if that ever happened to somebody. Pick up your favorite social media app of choice and send that person a DM and say it, because people feel more comfortable sending text messages and everything like that because, you know, you have more time to formulate your thoughts and get it all together and everything. But you can do that in your DMs by choosing your favorite social media app of choice and send them a well-crafted DM saying thank you for recommending you to me. And speaking of social media, you can find the Random Rambles with Rob on various social media platforms to include Twitter at 3R Show or X, whatever the fuck you call it. Instagram at the 3R Show. And for those of you who like to put your eyeballs on things or whatever, you can see this interview as well as hear it on YouTube if you search for 3R Show. And for anything that I may have forgotten to mention, you can go to randomrob.com. Randomrob.com, to where you can find many different ways to help support the show and our sponsor if they're still hanging around. I haven't talked to them in a while. But you can go to Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. Go to hooksrub.com to where you can get 15% off your order if you use promo code RANDOM. That's hooksrub.com. Get 15% off by using promo code RANDOM. Now that we got that all out of the way, I'm pretty sure you got the Sega Genesis notes or whatever have you. We return here to the Random Rambles with Rob, which is kind of like the I guess the pseudo wrestling pod or whatever. I mean, everybody know how I feel about professional wrestling. And, you know, if I ain't got nothing to talk about, why not talk about professional wrestling? But my man Kaz is back with me, and we're going to just kind of continue the conversation that we started, 2 episodes ago, to where we initially covered and gave predictions for the New Japan Cup. Then we came back around and we discussed the results of the New Japan Cup. And now that we have a definitive winner of the New Japan Cup, Yota Tsuji, he was to go on to Sakura Genesis to face the then IWGP World Champion, which we'll talk about, Tetsuya Naito, as a result of him winning the cup. And now here we are, Sega Genesis. Let's talk about it.
Yes, there has been a lot that's happened since we were on here last.
Yes.
So Sakura Genesis is where we left off. Basically, the first half of the card is nothing.
Yeah. So like, let's talk about it for the people who may be unfamiliar with New Japan's booking style or whatever. They do a lot of tag matches. A lot of them serve a purpose. A lot of them don't. It's just kind of like, since they don't have programming from week to week like most American shows that we watch and talk about. They got to get people on the card. So that's what it is a lot of the times. They have multi-man matches, tag matches, 6-man, 8-man. I think they had a 10-man at one time. They do that to get the people on the card. But usually, for the most part, when they have special tag matches or 6-men, it's to further along or create a story or whatever. I don't think we had any leads for any of these tag matches that we got, right? Or
not
I recall.
Not the first. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, your first 4 matches are basically just your regular get people reps tag matches. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Word.
So the first match of consequence that we start the junior tag team title 3-way, which was The champions of Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney of the War Dogs
Mm-hmm.
against Akira and TJP of United Empire, and one of your favorites, Kushida and Kevin Knight.
Hell yeah, I love me some Kevin Knight or whatever, because like they build that dude at 6 foot. That dude don't look like he's 6 feet tall.
No, he does not. But that match went about 17 minutes with War Dogs retaining the titles.
Yeah, because I mean, I believe TJP and Akira made us secure them a shot later on, right? Or they just got some continuing beef.
There's some stuff going on there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Word. So let's talk about those three teams. Kevin Knight, tremendous upside or whatever. Has a lot of dealings with Impact and New Japan or whatever. I can see a run maybe in the future, possibly with NXT with this dude or whatever. I mean, I feel like he fits the mold in some aspects or whatever. He still has a lot of time to grow and everything. He has made some GCW appearances and whatnot, so he kind of works in that environment as well. But I think ultimately the end goal, I mean, which, a lot of wrestlers won't admit and a lot of wrestlers probably won't talk about, that, the end goal is WWE. I mean, no doubt about it. It pays you the most eyeballs or whatever. I mean,
well,
but,
the pay the most might not be as true as it used to be.
oh, well, yeah, you're right.
But you still do have the spectacle. You have the big show.
More benefits.
Yeah.
More fringe benefits.
Yeah, they're gonna get the eyeballs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gonna be on the Today Show. You're gonna be on the Tonight Show. You're gonna be on the Midday Show. Maybe I don't know. Do they have one in the middle? I don't know.
I'm sure there is somewhere. Yeah, no, I can see that very easily. I think he would translate really well over there.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, I mean, I told you before, like that COVID group of the New Japan Dojo LA. Carl Fredericks, goddamn freaking Madman Gabe Kidd, goddamn Clark Connors and all them. I kind of was poo-poo on all those guys, but they're starting to show a little bit of personality now. And, Kevin Knight was a part of that group as well.
Yeah.
But like, I still don't see a lot in Clark Connors. He's a solid performer, but that Driller Maloney, that dude has it all. He has the look, the demeanor, he has everything. And like, I'm really interested to see maybe a junior heavyweight title run, but he's like, his size, is deceptive. He's really a big dude, so he can easily.
I think I said it before. He's very similar to Shingo in that way, where he had a junior run, but he wasn't really a junior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Shingo in the junior division was just like, come on, player. Come on, get that guy out of there.
It was fun, though.
Oh, yeah, it was. He was flipping motherfuckers all around with them, with the bombers, boy. But, yeah, I want, that's the two that I want more out of that group. I want more Kevin Knight. I want more Driller. So,
I can agree with that.
All right, what we got next?
Next, we got the heavyweight tag, which was your champions of Kenta and Chase Owens.
I forgot about that.
Everyone's favorite heavyweight tag champs against Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto of Bishamon.
Yeah, it's
and
somewhat of a rematch.
And Bishamon regains the tag titles. Thank God.
Really, though?
Well, okay, so first off,
I mean, I know Chase Owens. I get that.
But other than that, what else are you doing with Yoshihashi and Goto? Why not? They're at least a better team.
Retire.
Well, but they're not going to do that yet.
Yeah, I know. New Japan people, like, they don't. That's a word. I don't think that's even in any. I mean, in English translation or Japanese translation. I don't think that's a word that works there. Retirement.
Yeah, you're lucky they're not putting them back on Tenzan. I mean, Jesus.
Oh my God! All right, let's.
But no, it was a decent. For what that match was going to be, it was a decent match. But I'm very happy that the belts are back on them, and that. Well, I say that we'll get to it in the future. We may not be done with some of that, but we'll move on to the next match, which was much more depressing than that one. The junior heavyweight title match between Sho and Yo, which I was expecting to be a really fun, interesting match because
Yeah.
they're both much more. The last time they fought, they didn't have much character at that point. They had just
No.
broken up pretty recently.
Yeah, it was pretty bland. They were still trying to find themselves or whatever,
Mhm.
because like they were really stuck in the tag team mold
Mhm.
and whatnot, and they was really trying to look and search for individuality, which, you know, we'll talk about it in a little bit because I know they're gonna have a match that'll come up featuring that specific subset of Bullet Club. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah. So I was expecting some more interesting stuff in this match, but we only got about a minute and a half into it before Yo completely dislocated his shoulder, and they had to stop the match,
yo,
which
it was a
sucked.
yeah, it was a Sami Zayn situation when he came out with but we didn't get a match. But it was
Mhm.
like when he came out to face Cena, when he made his what Raw debut or whatnot, and
Yes.
he came to the ring and did like his hype up the crowd. He threw his arms up and dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah,
So
if I remember correctly, this one was he just took a what looked like a regular bump, and it just because you could see the
literally,
bulge.
yes,
And I was like,
God,
"Oh, that looks bad. Is that that's not supposed to look like that?" And then, yeah, if I remember correctly, I think Narita and a couple people came down to just kind of buy time.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, the match ended up getting thrown out, and it looks like he's going to be out for a while.
yeah. That's what they were saying. I mean, because with those type of things, even though they was able to pop it back in or whatever, uh,
So Yo's going to be out at least. He's at least going to miss through Best of Super Juniors from that last I'd seen,
ooh,
which I didn't see him winning anyway.
yeah,
You know,
this is true.
so maybe him coming back with a little sympathy from the injury might even help him a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, if and I keep getting because it's 3-letter words. If what show is still champ,
Mhm,
and the comeback would make for a good story for those two to fight each other.
mhm,
But it was just weird as fuck to like, Yo was running through the crowd with the title, you know, a la House of Torture or whatever. There's something they would do. They would steal a belt and go run around and
mhm.
just like, disrupt the match or whatever. And we got that villain hoisted by his own petard, and now the good guy he got fumbled. Just
Yeah.
like that shoulder looked it gnarly, and I thought it was like I thought they were playing. I thought it was like a joke. He's trying to sucker him in. Oh,
Mhm.
I'm hurt. You
Yeah, then
get
he takes
close.
his hand off.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, then he takes his hand off, and you're like, "Oh, that shouldn't be there."
Yeah, that shouldn't look like that at all. I mean, it was just protruding and all kinds of stuff. And people like, why does he have to be out so long? Well, I mean, they were able to pop the thing back in, but still, I mean, you're dealing with connections and ligaments and all kinds of things,
Mhm.
that were pulled or separated or whatever. It was pulled out of socket and whatnot.
Yeah.
Speaking from a person that has dislocated and relocated it all in one motion, myself, it's not a good time. Because
No, I don't
like
imagine it is.
because I can tell you the extent of mine to where like I was playing basketball and somebody was like looked like they was about to gore me, give me a spear or some shit or whatever. So I put my hands up like this in front of me, and they went like full body weight, full steam into my hands, and it pushed my shit out
Mm.
and it went back in. Now at the time I didn't know nothing because like it was so sudden. It just went out, came back in, whatever. But as soon as, the adrenaline wore off and the situation was over with and I had some time with myself, I could not raise my arm past this. Like that's like if I'm standing up, I couldn't raise it past chest height.
Mm.
Like, and it was like that for a while. And, me being a hardcore Marine, I did not go to medical or whatever. I was like, oh, I sprained it or some shit or whatever. I just, let it work itself out. I just kind of like started rotating it and doing, my own little rehab and everything. Eventually I did go to medical. Eventually I did get it seen, and, it sucked.
Yeah.
But it took a while because all that stuff has to work itself back into place or whatever. It was a while to where I couldn't even, go around in a circle like this and rotate my shit. It's like
Right.
it was really bad. I can only once I got it to able to go up past chest height, I could only go back to like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was just me doing minimal shit or whatever. Just non-rehab stuff, just stupid, duct tape shit and go. So yeah, it's a tricky situation with those things.
Yeah. Next up, we have a pretty interesting tag match. It was the New Japan return of Jon Moxley teaming with Shota Umino against
Yeah.
Ren Narita and the Scapegoat Jack Perry.
Mm-hmm. So how did you feel about that? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't have my full focus on that.
Yeah, it was fine. It's exactly the match you think it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. And this
You
is
know?
one of those things that we were talking about at the top of this was like this was a tag match that served a purpose.
Yeah, it's just used to build to the next match.
Mm-hmm.
It's used to build to Perry and Shota and get Mox on the show before his big title match.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it both worked really well. I thought it built everything nicely. Mox and Shota win, unsurprisingly, because Jon Moxley doesn't lose in New Japan.
No, and it's evident as to what we'll talk about later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a whole lot to really say about it. Just it did its job.
Yeah.
And then next, maybe a little bit more of an interesting, or as far as in-ring match, for the never open weight title, your champion Evil loses to Shingo.
Yeah, he gets it back.
Mm-hmm. And I think, if I remember you saying you hadn't realized that Evil had painted the entire never title black.
Because this is like Sakura Genesis. Me and you weren't on the same wavelength of this or whatever. I think you watched it live or just like shortly after it's airing and whatnot.
Yeah, I watched it the next day. Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a while to get to the show or whatever. So I just kind of watched key highlight stuff or whatever. So I watched the main event and I watched, I tried to watch Show and Yo, but
yeah.
But the good thing that kind of came out of Show and Yo was, Fujita stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
And what
Vegeta,
I believe
that's who it was. Yes.
Yeah, Vegeta stepped up, and what I think did somebody else come out there too?
Somebody, I think it wasn't Rita. I don't think I can't remember who else it was. It was Vegeta and someone else, and I'm blanking on who it was.
I could have swore it might have been Desperado or somebody like that. No, it was Doki. Doki came out there.
That's it. Yeah, that's right. Yes, it was.
Doki is like, yeah, you might want to fight him now, but you behind me or some shit like that. From what I can surmise from the translation that we got and whatnot. Yeah, so I mean, we talked about Doki not too long ago or whatever. I mean, he has he's had a coming out party or whatnot to where like I was like, this dude look goofy as shit. He ain't doing nothing or whatever. To where his running the best of Super Juniors and all that stuff was like, oh, this dude got something.
And he upcoming in one of the shows in the next couple of weeks, he might have a pretty decent sized match coming up. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, and I'm all in on Vegeta. So like, I like it since he has come off excursion or whatever. It's like he never left. But like,
yeah,
I like his little persona change, just a little tweak they made to it or whatever. Just like the hair, just the demeanor and everything has changed. I really like him, and I'm looking forward to what he's gonna do next.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
anyway.
Weirdly, I think House of Torture has been good for almost everybody except Evil, because it's made him so much worse.
Well,
but
yeah,
it seems like it's given everybody else who didn't have a character before something.
Yeah, you know what? Now that we're talking about it proper, the House of Torture, because that's what I was talking about earlier. They are shit, but to your point, they are really giving color to some of these guys that was just kind of like blah.
Yeah.
Show has a little more personality than they had before. Goddamn, Ren Narita, I can barely recognize this dude now. That's just like totally different from what I was used to seeing, like the Shibata-esque style of Ren Narita, to where he's just like stoic
just very stoic. Yes.
Yeah, but like now he's just like snarling and all kinds of just personality is coming out of him and whatnot. And even Jack Perry for the little short stint that he did with them and whatnot. I mean, something flourished from that, and we have the House of Torture, ironically, to thank for that.
Yeah, it's as much as I think in the last year or so, House of Torture was just kind of a nuisance. They've
Yeah.
actually, I think, in the last this year at least, they've actually helped a few people. Like I said when we were talking about Super J Cup, I think having House of Torture as a through line helped that tournament because of how many names had left. They needed something to tell a story there.
Yeah.
So I'm much higher on House of Torture than I thought I'd ever be.
Yeah. Because we
But
talk
it's
shit about them so much.
but like I said, I think that Evil is the one that has the least interesting path with them.
Yeah. Him and
Even
Dick
though he's the leader.
Yeah, him and Dick Togo.
Well, we don't need to talk about Dick Togo.
Yeah. He's a dick.
But that was a good match. It was much more like your regular never title matches that you want, where it's
big meaty men slapping meat.
Yes. That's all I want from that belt. That's it. That's all I need. But I'm glad Shingo's got the belt back. I think he's what I want for that title right now. And that's he's one of those guys who's a really good stepping stone for pushing somebody to the next level.
And I kind of feel like that's his role at this point right now. So, I mean,
like he's one of those guys.
He's their Dolph Ziggler, even though they have Dolph Ziggler at a.
I think he's one of those guys who you could heat up really easily and put the belt on if you needed to.
Yeah.
Like somebody goes down, Shingo,
in a pinch.
But he's also one of those guys that if you put somebody in a program with him and they go over on him, then you basically make that person.
Yeah, this is true, and I respect that from somebody who could do that. You know.
Yeah, because he's shown he'll lose. He doesn't mind taking a loss if it helps.
Yeah,
and not everybody at the top
is willing to do that. No.
Like some people who we've seen. And then we move on to the main event. Tetsuya Naito, Yota Tsuji for the IWGP World Heavyweight title.
This is what I'm ready for. This is what I want to talk about. I want to get all the brain juice out of you for this match and whatnot. So you seen it already, and you were just waiting on me to watch it to get my opinion or whatever. And I was
trying very hard to not say a word about anything.
I know, because it took me so long to get to the show or whatever. But like, here we are, man. When we first initially covered the New Japan Cup, I said it right out of the gate, what I wanted. Because, we already thought something was different about what we through storylines, where we figured what was going to happen. David Finlay might have won.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But, I think he got sick, he hurt, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So my want for that tournament was Yota Tsuji to win. Even though in my heart of hearts, I know, like, I want to put the world title on him right now. He ain't ready for that yet. Despite how good he is in the ring, his character work or whatever the case may be, it's not his time. Yeah. But what I wanted for him was to win this New Japan Cup, and he did.
Yes.
Got him here to Tetsuya Naito, which was another interesting thing or whatever that we talked about as well, because when Yota Tsuji debuted, he put himself in that group. And then I like how Walker and Chris on commentary just kind of laid all that out or whatever. He laid out why he joined that group, because it gave him more flexibility to be an individual and to be himself,
right? Which
that is the ethos of LIJ. So just because he chose that group doesn't mean, it was going to put a damp on his aspirations and whatnot. He told Naito straight up, I'm going to beat you, and I'm going to take that title, and I'm going to separate it, because as everybody knows or may not know, that within the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship is the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Those two were fused together and to make the current title and whatnot. So Yota Tsuji's task is he wants to win it to separate the two or whatever. So I am all aboard for that story arc
Mhm.
or whatever. And just the fact that we have this faction infighting is an interesting story as well, because the last time we seen something like this is when one Jay White showed up on the scene and whatnot, when he joined Chaos, and he was like, fuck that. I mean, just because I'm in his faction, it doesn't mean I ain't going for that title.
Mhm.
Would ultimately lead to the rise of Jay White through the ranks, being IWGP champion, and wouldn't he didn't he have this title too at one point?
Oh,
I
did
don't
he
know
win?
if he was around for that.
Oh,
I don't think so, because it's
I
only
don't-
been, I think it's only been
'cause
8
he's
or
been-
9 with this title.
because he's been in AEW for a little over a year now. I don't think so. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't think he held that version of it.
Mhm. But still, I mean, I like the infighting. I like the bucking
Mhm.
the system or whatever. And Yoda
Oh, yeah.
Tsuji is
I mean,
just that.
yeah, even Naito's said that even before Suji won that he doesn't mind fighting LHA guys because that iron sharpens iron type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think that's that's what sets LIJ apart from everybody else is
They're
because
willing to fight each other.
yeah, because there was a time when in Chaos when Ishii wanted a match against Okada for the title, but Okada never wanted to do it because he didn't want to fight a Chaos guy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Shocking that Naito wouldn't, or I'm sorry, Okada wouldn't want to put someone over there at all.
Surprise, surprise. But man, here we go. Naito is on his way out, man. We spoke about this before. It's just like
We are on a time clock.
yeah, we're on the clock or whatever. I mean, his performances is although still good,
Mhm.
they are declining
Yes.
or whatever. And it was kind of like you can see it within this match where you got Yoda Tsuji, who was just firing on all cylinders, kind of had to take a step back to work with Naito, which it should be the other way around in the, you know, in the sense of the word and whatnot. Naito should be bringing him up and putting Yoda Tsuji on the level, but I feel like Yoda Tsuji was putting Naito on that level.
Right.
You know, and it was just, it came down to the veteran know-how or whatever it is, how, much to my dismay, Tetsuya Naito pulled out the victory or whatever. Yoda Tsuji brought it. You know, he did all he could. He, you know, he did a little bit selling in this match, which I thought was real good or whatever. Selling the neck and I think the shoulder or the arm or whatnot, because that's key pieces that Naito work on. I think there was some leg work there as well that he kind of sold for us too. So I mean, he has it. I can't say it enough. The Yoda Tsuji has it. It's just like it's clearly not his time yet, though.
Yeah, like he's like I'd say like this time next year when he's got like a G1, another G1 under him, he's got some more big matches under him. I think he'll have everything he needs. But I do think this match showed that he's maybe not right there to carry a 30+ minute main event just yet, because there were some spots where he clearly he was a little unsure.
Yeah.
But when you've got Naito in there who knows exactly what he's doing, so you're fine. Uh, but yeah, also Naito from a couple years ago probably carries that a little bit better. He's not like you're not getting. I don't like Naito's probably got one more Stardust press in him. Like he's probably probably the next time he hits that is going to be his last match.
He'll probably turn into dust.
He's like he can still take like we'll talk about his next match. He can still take a beating, but he's not going to be the guy who's doing those big spots like he was doing in the Ibushi matches and things like that anymore.
Yeah,
but I mean overall I thought both these guys were really good at it. I was in the same boat as you. I kind of wanted to start the new era now, but I get why we're not yet. I can just see Tsuji in there. I'm like, he's on the cusp of being that guy, but he's just shy of it.
He is once again, I'll say it again. He is head and shoulders of the other two that they dub, even 4 or whatever. Just he is head and shoulders above those people that they peg to be the future of this company. But it's just like, I don't know. The thing with New Japan is he can show a lot of growth, but he can only show so much growth in this company because it's, in the grand scheme of things, it's really fucking small.
Yeah.
You know, it's just he's doomed to face the same people over and over and over again or whatever. It is just going to have varying results and whatnot because he came out the gate so hot and did so much damage. You just like, you know, in a good, you like just with his performances or whatnot, to face those same people again and lose or whatever, unless it's shenanigans involved. I mean, it's just going to be like, okay, I mean, I know he could beat them. I saw what he done to them before. It's just, but no, New Japan is just so small with their talent and whatnot.
Yeah, there's only so many guys they're gonna have over at one time.
Yeah, but it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, I was happy with it. I mean, like you said, we got the result that we wanted from New Japan Cup into Sakura Genesis, and I think in the long run, I think it's exactly what Suchi needs.
And then I told you, we had this conversation the last time. It made sense for Naito to retain if he was going to face Moxley. And I said, and we can just roll right into Windy City Riot.
Yep.
Let's talk about it so we can finish it up strong.
Yeah.
So this show had one, I know I'm skipping around or whatever because like I don't have the card in front of me.
I got it for you if you need it.
Stephanie, what's her name?
Vaquer.
Vaquer. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yep, Stephanie Vaquer and Azumi for the Strong Women's Championship.
Now that's another one. I know not a lot about. I mean, only in pictures and everything. Did not know she was Spanish. Like I said, I know nothing about her. I just know she's their champion. I only seen
the name
pictures.
Vaquer did nothing for you.
Hey man, ignorant American, bro. That's what it is. I mean, I barely know how to say belt in Spanish or whatever. But like, yeah, it's just, man, I like everything about her. It's just the look, her personality, just her in-ring ability, just everything. I was just like, whoa, why have I been missing out on this? You know, it's just like her and Utami or whatever. I'm just like, I just love these ladies. But that's not what started off this show. Just had to bring that out.
Yeah, we'll get to it. There were 2 pre-show matches. The first one was Matt Vandegrift and Zane J, and it was nothing. It was
I think I breezed by it.
Yeah, it was. The second one though was actually a decent match. It was Viva Van and Mina Shirakawa, who we've seen on AEW recently, against Trish Adora and Alex Windsor.
Yeah. It was
and that was it was a good. It was a 7-minute sprint tag match, but it was really good.
I like Viva Van.
I'd never seen her before. I was very impressed with her.
Oh, this is like my first taste of her in ring stuff or whatever. But I follow her on Instagram, so it's like I know of her. But like this was my first taste of her in ring and whatnot, and I was impressed. I mean, I've seen highlights and clips and everything. She's a multi-time champion across many companies, you know, past and present. So it's just like I think she has the goods, but like I was impressed with her, especially that little twirl roll thing she does over herself.
The little flip clothesline thing. Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then Mina Shirakawa brought it like she always does. She's very good. And then, Trish Adora is always good.
Oh, yeah.
And then Alex Windsor, who picked up the pin, seems like she's getting the next push. And I'd seen her before, but it'd been a while, but she's definitely improved since last time I'd seen her.
And like, even the way this match went down and the way it was structured, I'm happy that the team that Trisha Dorn was on got the win. You know, I'm barely seeing her get wins or whatever, and she's a phenomenal talent. But like, this match seemed like it was structured for her to kind of like look good here, because what we will see later, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Your official show opener, Ren Narita beats Minoru Suzuki. I did not see that coming.
Well, I mean, the way it went down, it's just like it makes sense. He ain't gonna beat him straight up.
Yeah, but you just don't see Suzuki. You think opening the show, Suzuki, you get the
feel good start.
Yeah. And then Narita just comes out and beats him. Yeah, with that what is that? What are they calling that? The push up bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is one of the weirdest weapons I've ever seen in
wrestling. I mean, it's just,
but sure, that's fine.
I mean, no weirder than the Slim Jim as a weapon on the WWE 2K24.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, and it turns out there would be a very good reason for Narita to win this first match tonight, which we'll get to.
Right.
But it was a
Minoru Suzuki match.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
if you've seen a Minoru Suzuki match, you know what this match was.
Mm-hmm. And what I appreciate about this is like, I don't think Suzuki is like contracted to New Japan. He's just
this was his first New Japan match this year.
Word. So it's just like he here to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's another old guy in the old guard who's like, I can help this. Some other people should take note of this.
Yeah, because I mean, he's in the same boat as like Yuji Nagata and Bread Boy. What's his name?
Kojima.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about Bread Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they're freelance veterans for hire. So like, if you need me to sparkle up somebody or just beat the shit out of somebody, you got my number. Just give me a call.
Because there's guys who can still go in the ring enough that they could get a guy over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just like for anybody, I mean, in the past or even modern day, to have a win over Minoru Suzuki, that's some big shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he still doesn't matter how many matches he loses, he still has that aura.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, R. Yeah, fun stuff. Ren Narita with the win.
Yeah, and then we move on to our strong women's title match: Stephanie Vaquera against Izumi. And
this is some good shit.
Listen, if you said to me this was the match of the night, I wouldn't argue with you.
Mm-hmm. This could. You know what? No lie. This could have main evented.
Listen, I wouldn't have been mad about that.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I know we have bigger stakes on the line. Yeah. I mean, this is not to be outshined. I mean, it was a freaking title match.
Yeah.
But like,
as far as quality goes, this could main event a show. Yes.
It could main event a show. And it was just like, I am just in awe of her performance. Just like Stephanie or whatever. It's just like, I did not know. And then she started speaking Spanish and I was just like, my heart melted. And I was like, oh, what is this?
No, this is I think maybe my second or third Stephanie Vaquera match, and yeah, she's excellent. And then Azumi's from Stardom, and I've seen her many times, and she's
anytime I hear that name, I just think about a dog or something just running around the room because
Azumi's. She wrestles like that sometimes, yeah.
True.
But it was, it was a really, really good match, which I think it's, as far as strong women's title matches, might be the best one they've had with that title.
Mm-hmm. I can't argue.
And like, if you could keep that kind of quality up, you could really do something with that division.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so many Azumis and Stephanie Vaqueras out there, but if you were smart with the title, I think you could. And I didn't realize it was only an 11-minute match. Basically, it felt longer than that.
I know. I mean, it's just like the build up, the highs and the lows of that thing. It was just amazing. I mean,
it was very well structured. I mean, they went out and just did it.
Out of everything that we mentioned so far, from the last card up until this point right here, this is definitely a recommendation for anybody who want to seek out some of these matches. So this match, and definitely Tensou Yonito versus Yota Tsuji. So I would recommend those two matches out of everything that we just talked about so far.
Yes. Next up, we have the strong tag titles on the line. Your champions of El Fantasmo and Hikuleo, Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaacs, Fred Rosser and Tom Lawler, and then TMDK's Mikey Nichols and Shane Hayes.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I just kind of fast forward through this match, and I think you was about to reveal the results, right?
Yes. TMDK finally wins New Japan Gold after years of being in and out of the company. They're the new strong tag team champions.
Yeah, like I said, it was a bumblefuck of a match.
Yeah, it was a 4-team tag match. If you've seen one of them, you know how they all basically end up.
But the one thing that I want to point out of this, not only did TMDK get the gold or whatnot, which will kind of lead into what we talk about later in the card as it pertains to them, but Tom Lawler putting the dude in the front face lock to choke, and he was like, I seen CM Punk. Oh man, that shit was hilarious. That was like the highlight of that match for me. Just him saying, I saw CM Punk.
Yes, that was it. And the other thing for this match that I guess would be important is that after the match, Nelson and Isaacs would attack Lawler and Rosser, and they end up cutting Tom Lawler's hair.
Whatever that he had.
Yeah, to set up for a match. I think they're doing it. We'll look whenever we get to the stuff that's next up. I think it's at Resurgence that they're doing the return match there.
Because Team Filthy has disbanded.
Yes.
Word.
All right, I think.
So
and then next up, the Scapegoat Jack Perry versus Shota Umino.
This was some good shit.
This had no business being as good as it was.
Hell yeah. So like now we can kind of talk about it because I alluded to it a little bit earlier or whatever. Jack Perry. I think this was his last New Japan match.
Yes, he is.
From what I hear, I don't know.
Yeah, but depending on when you listen to this, you may know what Jack Perry's doing next.
No. Well, you might have to tell me because I don't know. But like
the rumor is he might be showing up on Sunday.
Oh, very well. Yeah. Spoilers, because this will be out as soon as we press stop. So
just depending on when you listen to it, you might already know what Jack Perry's done.
Yeah. But like, yo, this was fucking amazing. Now, I mean, I already said that, like, you know, the women's match for the strong title could main event. Like, this had, I mean, not that it should have been a main event, but it had somewhat of a main event feel for some reason. I don't know why. It was just like the crowd was all in on this.
Well, I can tell you why.
Tell me more.
I tell you, it was Chicago.
True.
It's here's the thing. This match is not as good if Tony Khan doesn't put out that footage Wednesday before.
True.
Because if that doesn't happen, who's giving a shit about this match? Who's cheering Jack Perry that much?
You know, and you know what's wild is like, on one side, we look at AEW and when they aired that footage and just what it did for that side or whatever. It's just like
it was just like, who cares?
Wet fart, whatever. Just bullshit. But like on the other side, for New Japan though, and Jack Perry, this match was evident of that.
Yeah, if anything, it helped Jack Perry and no one else.
Yeah, because I felt bad for Shota, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh, this is
because before that happens, you're like, oh, well, Shota's going to be the guy they're cheering for this match the entire time, and then Jack Perry comes out and at best it's half.
Mm-hmm. Like I mean, it was like sympathy cheers for Shota. It's like, I guess.
Yeah, we like Shota. Everybody likes Shota.
You know, because I mean, it's the wrestling thing of we know who's the good guy, we know who's the bad guy. So it was like sympathy. We're like, oh, I mean, all right, Shota. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But everybody was all in on it. So from the entrance, Jack Perry came out with riot security, and he came out draped in a Chicago flag, shots at CM Punk in Chicago. And then when he raised the flag up, he dropped it down, and on the back of his jacket, Cry Me a River was etched on the back. Nice little touch. And like, it got so over to where like during the match, the crowd was singing, "Oh, cry me a river." I mean, it was just wild. Or whatever, man. Just wild.
Yeah, it felt like you said, it kind of felt like a main event level match just because of the atmosphere of it.
Mm-hmm. and like it wasn't planned, but this is a testament to a performer and filling the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So Jack Perry throughout the match, just doing standard heel shit, flipping off the crowd, you're up yours and all this other stuff. But the little small subtle things that he did throughout the thing, I mean, not so even subtle, but like he did things that people would see and be like, oh, I get that. I understood that reference.
Yeah, putting on the front face lock and
putting on the front face lock, doing the damn CM Punk knee in the corner, gesturing for the go to sleep and whatnot, So like those were, amazing audible touches because I know he wasn't going out there initially with that in mind.
Well, I could see
probably because it was Chicago.
A couple of them I could see, but yeah, once they start chanting and doing all that, they did a very good job of working with that.
Let's talk about the crowd a little bit more again. You got choked out. No, he didn't. The dueling chant there or whatever, just everything. And then like, not to, just dick ride Jack Perry this whole time, but Shota did well, under the circumstances or whatnot. He even showed a little bit of personality as well to where like he was mocking Jack Perry, mocking CM Punk. Right. He was also doing the go to sleep gestures and just doing the freaking Jungle Boy wave and shit. And all kinds of
I'm
stuff.
sure backstage Kenta was just pissed the entire time.
Yeah, and commentary alluded to that point. That shit was funny as shit. He was like, when Jack Perry attempted to do the go to sleep, commentary is like, oh, Kenta he's paying homage to Kenta.
Yeah. Kenta's like, this is all my shit. He stole all of this from me.
Yeah, he was like, Kenta's at the pay window right now. Yeah, but it was some good shit. I mean, it was a fun match or whatever, man. And then like Jack Perry shook his hand, flipped off the crowd, and he rolled off into that good night.
And now he's out the door. And it was a fun, quick run. I wish they'd do more of that with some people. Just bring them in for a couple tours, run 2 months of a little storyline, and go out. Just bring in some interesting people for a little bit, and they don't have to stick around for a year or 2 years.
Especially if you ain't got shit for them. Like I said, we talked about this when me and Paul and all of us was together recording last. I mean, shit, you ain't got shit for Shayna Baszler. Send her alone. Let her go do Bloodsport or some shit like that. Just don't let them sit stagnant. Don't let them get big and bulky in catering. Just let them go do something.
Yeah, because Shayna had a fun match, Bloodsport this year.
You are the only one that's seen it because I didn't.
Well, I'll hit a little bit of it before we get out, but there were a few matches this weekend that were really good. But yeah, I thought this worked for everybody. Got Shota a good solid win that he needed because he hasn't had a lot of big wins yet, and Jack Perry did exactly what he needed to do. And then we move on to one of the matches that really sold this show as far as tickets. Hiromu Takahashi and Mustafa Ali.
Now, so weren't there changes to this match? Because wasn't it initially for one of the titles?
I was going back. I was trying to find if it was. I can't find one that was that they've.
Yeah, because I thought it
officially said it was for winning the belts yet.
Yeah, I thought it was for the junior title at one point.
So I'm trying to remember how, because they announced this decently far back.
Yeah,
but I don't think
when people started booking Mustafa Ali, they announced this shit.
Yeah, so it's been on the card for a while, but I think Hiromu had lost the belt by then. But I need to go back and look at that. That's one thing I forgot to go back and look up. But it might have been initially.
Yeah, because I mean there was some talks on commentary to where like they didn't even so much reference the junior heavyweight title, but they referenced that Hiromu wanted a shot at the X Division title or something like that or whatever. But like I think they said Mustafa Ali said no, so I mean there was something there.
Yeah,
but then Hiromu don't even have the belt no more.
No, so. But he does have a new addition.
Daryl Jr.
The return of Daryl Jr. And he has been
shredded.
Gym. Yes.
You know what?
Abs for days.
I'm not gonna lie. So like I follow Hiromu on various social media platforms, and he's been posting the pictures of Daryl Jr. with the mask and stuff. Back from his lucha excursion. So I was like, me and Young Child have a relationship because of not because of, but we have a bond because of Daryl. So we love Daryl and everything. And I was showing her the pictures of Daryl and Daryl Jr. in the lucha mask. She's like, it's Daryl Lucha, Mask Edition and all kinds of stuff. So she was excited about seeing that shit or whatever. And then I showed her the ripped Daryl, and she was like, what the hell? She's like, what is that? And I immediately got online and tried to find this thing because I want one.
Yeah, I figured you did.
I want one.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, as evident, I want one.
Oh, Lord. But it started a little slower than I expected it to. A little more character work, which Ali's been doing a lot lately.
Because he couldn't before.
Yeah. He wasn't allowed to do anything but do a couple flips for 3 minutes and get out the door. Yeah. But when it picked up, it picked up. I don't know. I would say that it wasn't a perfect match. Like, I think that if you ran that back a couple times, they could do even better. But this was a fun match. They did a lot of really fun stuff, including, I think maybe my favorite heel spot of the night, Ali making Daryl watch as he beat Daryl. I love that he refused to play into it for most of the match, then just decided, you know what, you want to do crazy, let's do crazy. Which is always fun.
And then I didn't know Ali had such a potty mouth, man. He was just dropping the F-bomb the whole fucking...
Yeah, that surprised me a little bit too, yeah.
Yeah, just cussing his ass off. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, but I mean, they went at it. I mean, they were throwing themselves around, leaping out of the ring and taking out... Was this the match that they took out Chris Charlton at the...
Yeah.
Reset? Yeah. At a certain... I was thinking, last time somebody did that, it was... Jay White with JR and Josh Barnett. I was thinking maybe Veda Scott jumps up and defends Chris Charlton on this one.
Yeah, she sounded weird on commentary.
I was about to say, I like Veda on commentary.
Yeah, I know. I mean, she's good, but it's just like, she is like, her voice sounded like she was imitating Walker Stewart.
Huh. Now that you say that, that is kind of, I can hear it.
Yes, just like this, Just it sounded weird to me.
Which all three of them were really good commentators. Walker's been. I don't think we've really talked about it much with Walker taking over for Kevin Kelly, but he's been excellent.
Oh yeah, I mean, I personally got to work with him on commentary or whatever, and like that was my first time meeting him. That was my first time ever seeing this massive man. This dude is tall, huge, and like, and he's young as fuck. He in his 20s.
I think isn't he like 22, 23?
Like when I met him, I think he was like 24.
I knew it was young. I couldn't remember exactly.
Yeah, he's a young man. Yeah. Like, to be this good so young is just like, a credit to him and whatnot. Yeah. But like, I personally got to work with him on commentary, and just like to follow his lead was just like, it was a masterclass for me. It was just some good shit. So like, anytime I hear him or see him do things or whatnot, I'm all for him.
Yeah.
But fun match.
Ali wins. Yeah.
In Chicago.
Which I think is the right call. He's the Chicago guy.
Yes. A Chicago win? Is that what they call him? Chicago win? A Chicagian? A Shingo Takagian?
Yeah. I mean, he's a freelance original there, so putting him over there makes perfect sense.
I'm pretty sure Maxwell called some of his matches.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, he was a huge Ali supporter, especially when he got signed initially. But I would love for them to run this match back again sometime.
Yeah,
because I think there's an even better match in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, hell, put him in the Best of Super Juniors, Ali.
We'll get to that. We'll get to because we know who's in the Best Super Juniors now, so we'll get to that. Next up, the what would I call this? The basically every U.S. show for New Japan has to have one match that's just hardcore plunder fuck fest. And it was this one, the Riot Rules tag match with Team Eddie Kingston versus Team Gabe Kidd.
Mhm.
Gabe Kidd's team was unsurprisingly War Dogs guys. It's
Yeah.
Finley, Clark Connors, and Kenta. That Eddie Kingston surprisingly brings out a couple United Empire guys in TJP and Jeff Cobb,
Hmm.
which furthers the War Dogs United Empire story they're doing right now.
Yeah.
And then unsurprisingly brings out his buddy Homicide.
So
So you get a big Chicago pop for that.
yeah, but also at the same time, I fast forward through this. I didn't watch it.
You here's the deal. You know exactly what happens in this match without watching
Yeah.
it. It's they hit each other with everything, and
Everything.
yeah.
Homicide probably stabbed somebody with a fork or something. I don't know. Just
Yeah. But Team Kid wins, and biggest thing at the end, Eddie challenges into a match at Resurgence for the
Mhm.
strong title. So
yeah,
we're gonna get that.
which I was confused because I thought that was going to happen on this card or
Mhm.
whatever. But like, I knew these two were going to fight each other because they've
Yeah.
been talking shit to each other.
Yeah, it's going to be a no ropes last man standing match,
So blood sport.
essentially, but without the pinfall. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
which I think that'll be good. Like that's it's going to be a hard hitting, just
Mhm.
beat the
And
shit out of each other.
And it's growth for Gabe Kidd.
Mhm.
You know, I can see Gabe Kidd being, because we talk about that title, I can see Gabe Kidd being a never open weight champion.
Mhm. Yeah, that one's. I think we'll cover it eventually, but I do think he probably beats Eddie there.
Mhm.
I think that makes a lot
Probably.
of sense for him.
Because Eddie is just crumbling as far as titles. He had 3, now you got 2. And,
Yeah, I think
well, no, now you got 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you got to tell the story of Eddie losing all of them now.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's that match,
Mhm.
and then we move on to a match that I maybe cared about somehow more and less. The TV title match with the champion Matt Riddle against Zack Sabre Jr.
I watched it, but I didn't watch it.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, I wasn't invested. It didn't have my full attention.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was from, sparse or whatever. I mean, it was an okay match.
Mhm.
You know?
It was fine.
I was kind of shocked by the end result, to tell the truth, but like that would go back to what I was saying earlier or whatnot. TMDK winning those strong titles, and now you have the front man Zack Sabre Jr. is once again the TV champion.
Yeah. Zach wins. And we talked about it a little bit off there, a little bit of controversy of Matt Riddle walking away.
Yeah. So let's discuss that, because like me watching this, I wasn't invested so much, but like I had that in my brain prior to watching this match. I knew, people online were saying, "Oh, he no-sold the finish and walked out and this, and they made it like this big grandiose thing." And then when I watched it, I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, because I didn't watch this live, so whenever I'd already had seen that too, and I'm expecting, like the comparison to the Austin Aries match, Impact with Johnny, whatever the hell his name was at that point,
Johnny Impact
was an Impact, yeah, and where he just gets up, walks away, and we never see him anywhere ever again.
But it was nothing like that. So
he was like a little more, smiley and fist bumping everybody on the way out, and. Like you could convince me he would just thought, well, the camera's not on me, who cares?
Yeah.
But it ended up being on him.
Yeah, or even like, is he there anymore after this?
I mean, I don't think he has anything booked at the moment that I am aware of.
And then he's like the man in the MLW right now. So, but it's like, so the end of the match, just to put it out there for people who think like, oh, he no-sold the finish or whatever. I was like, he didn't take an impactful move. He did not get submitted or anything like that.
No, it was just a roll-up.
It was a flash pin. It was a roll-up. He got shocked. He got snuck on or whatever. So it was just like, there was nothing to sell. He was just like, it was a flash pin. So he just got up and, you know what I mean? He didn't even like just pop up and just, he just rolled out a ring. He was pissed.
Yeah.
You could see it on his face. He's like, God damn it. He got me. Then he rolled out of the ring and just high-five people on his way to the back.
Yep.
I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like you convinced me either way, but it wasn't the huge slap in the face thing I was expecting it to be from the
Yeah,
internet
from what people
discourse.
were saying,
Yeah.
you know. Sorry, sons of bitches. Stop hyping shit up like that.
But yeah, Zach's the TV champion for the second time.
First two-time
Um,
champ.
yeah, I,
That title
I,
still looks weird.
I, I like it more than I did initially, but
Yeah.
it's I don't
The
really know what this does for Zach. I don't.
yeah,
It
the
doesn't really
irony of
progress
the
him.
yeah, the irony of the TV title when they don't have a TV deal is just weird to me. And also, like what you were alluding to or whatnot, you know, I think even Zach kind of said he was like, yeah, I mean, this is cool, but like I still have aspirations for the world title.
Yeah, and it
So
seems
he
like maybe this was just this is just a stopgap. Like if Riddle's not getting booked, you got to get the title off of him.
true.
So here's a guy we know can have the belt for just a little bit,
Mhm.
and you can easily take that belt off Zach and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it with this one. The next one was kind of I think we talked about it last time, a bit of a make or break match between Tomohiro Ishii and Nick Nemeth.
Yeah.
The whole thing behind this is, can Nick Nemeth work a Tomohiro Ishii match, which is kind of your boilerplate New Japan hard hitting match. And if you can't have a good match with Ishii, who can you have a good match with there?
Yeah.
And I kind of thought he pulled it off.
He survived.
I thought it was a good match. I thought like he did enough of his style stuff and blended it with Ishii's style pretty well. Like I the first couple matches he had, they felt like, oh, he's just having the Dolph Ziggler match, and who we've seen that for the last 20 years. Who needs that again? I thought he showed he could kind of work a little bit different style. I thought it worked.
And hell, Tomohiro Ishii, your boy pulled out the zigzag himself, and it is like I was like, what the fuck is happening?
It's like, oh, Ishii's got new tricks. When the hell does that happen?
Oh man, it was a fun match, man, and it is like it. I like seeing awkward shit like this because, like, never in a million years would I have thought I would see this pairing of individuals in the wrestling ring.
Yeah, this is something you get like in Fire Pro or something, where it just randomly throws something out there.
Community creations, just put them together, just fuck it.
It's one of those because Ishii's a heavyweight, but until he's in the ring with like actual big guys, you don't realize how small he actually is. Because
I know how small he is because I went to Supercard Honor in New Orleans and he walked past me in flip flops, and I was like, "That's a tiny man."
Yeah, because there's a lot of the New Japan guys, even the heavyweights, are not like super tall guys. But you get a guy like Nemeth, who's I think he's like 6'2", something like that, and you're not like, well, that's super tall, but you're like, that's
taller than most.
Yeah, and then you realize, oh, Ishii's not that big. He just carries himself that big. Like when he's in the ring with heavyweights, he just carries himself like a heavyweight.
I can remember like getting into New Japan, and I thought he was just like the biggest person I ever saw, like just wide, just big beefy bastard. And then I saw, like I said, I seen him at that show, and I was just like, huh.
It's just amazing how he just carries himself that way. Because he was a junior at one point for a short time. He was actually he was under the Black Tiger mask for a very short period of time too.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, that was I don't remember who it was he was against, but yeah, he ran as Black Tiger for like, it wasn't very long, it was a couple months. Wasn't a very good run, but yeah, I thought this match delivered. It I think it was what Nick Nemeth needed to show that he could actually hang here. Who knows how many matches he'll have here, because he's doing the TNA thing right now.
Tonight they have a pay-per-view.
Tonight?
Tonight, as we record on the Saturday, they TNA has their pay-per-view. I forget what the name of it is. It blanks my mind, but I'll probably watch it. And then tomorrow, Sunday, we have AEW Dynasty. So 2 pay-per-view weekend.
And then
I might pay for one or both.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $20 where I get it from.
And then we have our main event, the big one, The IWGP World Title, Tetsuya Naito, Jon Moxley.
So, man, what did we say? We had this conversation. You sat there where you are. I sat right here, sweating because my fan didn't kick on. But I said it made the most sense for Jon Moxley to win this match because they don't have a weekly program. They don't have monthly pay-per-views or whatever like that or whatever. It's just like, it makes sense because he wouldn't have to be there every fucking day, every fucking week or whatever. And it's just like, hell, look at his United States title run when that was a thing. He was never there, but he still held their title and whatnot.
Yeah, and I pushed back on that because I was like, yeah, that sucked because he was never there.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to it. It was a really good match. Like between this one and the women's title match, if you said either of those your match of the night, I'm not arguing with you because this was the best Naito match he's had, certainly since he's been the champion. But I feel like in a while, he brought everything he had in this one.
And then that's like what we've been saying. I mean, is he just putting it all on Front Street because we don't have him that much longer?
Yeah, I think he's picking his spots. He's like, this is a match I got to have that's a really good match versus, the Sonata match where you're like, I don't need to try for this. It's Sonata. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought both guys were Moxley, unsurprisingly, gets color pretty. I think about halfway through the match. And,
what's funny? I fired up AEW Fight Forever last night, and they're like in the loading screens or whatever.
Oh, you finally got it.
I've been had it.
Oh,
I just never played it a lot.
Yeah,
because I think I got it day one.
Oh,
because I know what is like I was searching for it physically because of the wrestling correction. I just got it physically.
Okay.
But I've always had the game. I downloaded it digitally across 2 platforms already. So I had it for Xbox digitally and I had it for Switch digitally.
Gotcha.
And then now I have it physically. But I fired it up last night and they show on their loading screens in between or whatever. They have character model pictures and whatnot, and they'll have critics or like tweets under the picture saying stuff about just the game and stuff.
Yeah.
And they had a picture of Jon Moxley covered in blood, scratches and cuts and everything from I guess like the barbed wire match and whatnot. And at the bottom the caption said, "If Jon Moxley isn't bleeding, you're not doing it right."
Yep. That's pretty much it. Yeah. But there were a lot of really, really killer spots. I mean, that DDT under the apron where Naito just goes completely perpendicular on it.
Yeah, just straight up.
Yeah,
erect penis, just poop.
I mean, I think both guys just killed it in this match. I mean, they, especially at the end, a lot of false finishes. I bought. I bought the first Death Rider. I thought it was over. Both Destinos. I thought, oh, that's it. Like they especially at the end, they really just went right at it, and I was hook, line, and sinker in for it. But then,
it just made sense to me for Mox to get the win, and it's just like wild to look at this dude, just like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, just like who would have thought, IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
And the only guy to win the IWGP, WWE, and AEW World Championship.
Wild shit.
Yeah, that's
and GCW. Let's put some respect on their name.
Sure, fine. You bet. GCW World Champ too. Absolutely.
Which some people forget Tama Tonga was GCW champion as well.
Was he really?
Yeah. I didn't know that either because I just happened to look it up. Because when he won his first singles title in New Japan, I did the research. I just went in. I was like, I wonder if he had it. This was his like legit first ever singles title. Has he always been a tag team guy? And I just went through his archive and shit. And no shit, He was a GCW champion.
I
at
guess
one
that
point.
was early GCW.
Yeah,
I guess.
early, very early. Yeah, because like I was like, God damn, GCW been around that long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, John Moxley's your new world champ, and like I said, I pushed back on it a lot whenever we talked about it last time because I didn't want another title reign where he's just not there the entire time and shows up, twice a year to defend it, and it's against Lance Archer, and it's fine. But we actually have, I'll pull it up right now, these shows that Moxley's booked for.
Ooh, tell me. I didn't know.
He is booked for Dontaku.
Ooh, yeah, I like tacos.
He's booked for Dominion.
Ooh, okay.
And he's booked for I believe, the entire New Japan Soul Tour.
Oh, okay.
Which is all the shows going up to right before G1. And he's booked through that final show, which is at the Tokyo Budokan Hall.
Okay.
Which is a place that apparently Naito's been wanting New Japan to run for a while. It's not like the Budokan. It's it's Tokyo Budokan, so it's like an offshoot site. But I think it's a decently sized place. But that's what interests me with this, because it's a place Naito's wanted to run for a while.
Yeah, so you might take it back.
Maybe that's going to be interesting because we already know Mox's first defense. Because at the end of this match, after Mox has his big speech, he says the first person I want to defend it against is Shooter. He says,
Shooter Overdose.
He said, this is your final exam, Shooter. But after he says that, who comes out but the guy who won in the first match of the night, Red Narita, and hits him with the push-up bar. Yeah.
Pull up, push up, either or.
Whatever. And says, no, I'm the first challenger, and they'll be fighting at, I believe it's Resurgence that they're fighting at. Let me see. I have it written down here. It's at Dontaku on May 4th. Dontaku.
So now, like, this is what I've been saying. I said it earlier. If you ain't got shit to do, let them go do some other shit. And this is a prime example of that. They don't have shit for Mox to do right now, especially if you're not going to make him the world champion at AEW or put him in a title program or whatnot. Let him go do cool shit.
Yeah.
Fuck it. So, I mean, and then like even Mox said it when he first got released from WWE. He's like, he just signed the contracts. He didn't give a fuck about the money or whatever. He's just like, I wanted to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. So like him being, with New Japan like this or whatever makes sense to me.
Like it just, especially the way he talks about it, he seems like he actually cares, which is really nice.
That promo on Dynamite was just that was some grade A shit.
And even the whole promo package before this match was excellent, with the interviews with Renee and everything, and it was really good.
She's like, I can't stop him. You gonna do what he do?
Like he loves doing it. What do you want me to do? But yeah, so he's got Narita at Dontaku, and then he's got Shota at Resurgence. Those are the next two defenses, which I find interesting.
Resurgence is the next American show, right?
Yeah, it's in California, yeah. Which I find interesting. Those are the first two defenses. It's the guy at the top working with the Young Lions, and which some other guys at the top haven't wanted to do. Not naming names, Okada. I'm just gonna shit on him. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore.
Fuck him.
But it's like I think this is great for not just for for Mox, but for New Japan, because you're gonna put these guys in the big spots and get them reps in a main event with a guy who is a legit main eventer. I think it's good. Mox isn't losing to Narita or Shota, especially not now. But I think it's something that's going to really help both of them and put them in the spotlight.
And then like with Shota or whatever, it's just like it makes sense to me, but I didn't think that would be something that I'll be seeing this soon or whatever. I thought it might have been like a build up to that, but like to do it right out the gate, I mean, I'm fine with that or whatever.
Yeah, and Mox is going to make him look like $1 million.
Oh yeah, that's his homie, man.
Yeah,
that's his homie.
I think the rematch is gonna be a House of Torture match. But I imagine Mox will have probably showed us maybe someone else helping him or whatever to counteract
maybe some BCC appearances.
That wouldn't surprise me, especially because you're going to start getting closer to Forbidden Door. So he's got those two, and see, the Resurgence is the. Let me see. Resurgence is May 11th, and then when is Forbidden Door? It is June 3rd. Okay, so that's more than a month. Okay, so Mike, it's looking like.
And it's wild to think about.
Yeah.
It's wild to think about. Like you go to AEW's official website right now, and they have the character bios and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
They have Jon Moxley listed as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. So
with his bad hairline and shit or whatever, I was like, dog, cut that shit off. This shit is like way back here for real. Like, dude, shave that shit.
Yeah, that's mine would be about there if I let it grow too. So I understand. But yeah, I mean, we've got those two coming up. I'm guessing he probably won't do much through Best of Super Juniors. I don't think he'll be there for any of that, but he will be there for Dominion, and we don't know what that'll be yet. But I think this might actually end up being a really good run for New Japan, and I'm happy to maybe be wrong about what I thought this was going to be. It seems like he's looking to actually do the work.
So, slam dunk, easy shit. Tetsuya Naito could easily just take it back or whatever, just based on the information that you gave me, just this whole situation, whatever. Because Naito going to want this rematch.
Yeah.
But if you had your way, who would you have take it off of Mox?
That's interesting.
I say Yota Tsuchi all day, but
yeah, like I mean, I think.
But I would say Zack Sabre Jr. too.
Well, that's what I was saying. Since we started this, I've been a Zack guy. I've been saying Zack's got to be up there in the mix to be the next one to hold it. I still really like my pick of him winning the G1 and then cashing in at Royal Quest and doing it in the UK. I still really love that story that I've created in my head. That's going to disappoint me when it doesn't happen. But
anything is possible now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you could convince me anybody takes that title off of him at this point, because why not? He's obviously he's willing to work with these other guys, and somebody's going to have to get that first big loss off Moxley. Like, because I think the only match he's lost, he's only lost twice the entire time. I think it is Yano, and did he lose to Ishii or did he beat Ishii in that first G1? I don't recall. I know he lost one because he didn't win the G1. I can't remember if that was that or not. But whoever beats him is gonna. It's gonna be a huge win for them. Like, somebody's gonna, and if it's Naito, it's fine. I mean, that's But do you want to give that big rub to somebody else though? And who?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question.
That'd be a big rub to give for somebody.
So, I mean, what do you think would be the bigger story though? The person that beats Mox, or the person that takes it off of Naito? If you had, if it was the two, because I mean, we talk about all these other shows, but like, what that's gonna how is all this gonna shape Wrestle Kingdom?
This is the thing. Naito's still huge, especially in Japan. He's still, and at the end of the day, this is a Japanese company that has to cater to the people that are there the entire time. I think it's probably going to be the big rub is still Naito, because if Naito gets the belt back, then this was just a bump in the road for his story, which is good storytelling. It works. It's fine. It brings more eyes to the product or whatever. Over here, Moxley's probably the bigger rub because he's a huge name still. But I think if I had to put my bets on it, I think Naito gets. I think at that last, it's that Soul Tour is the last thing before G1, and Moxley isn't booked for G1 as far as we know. I don't imagine he's going to be in G1, and I can't imagine not having the champion in the G1. I don't think they've ever not had the champion in G1, as far as I can recall.
Yeah.
So unless he gets somehow booked for another G1, I think he has to drop it before then.
Mm-hmm. And I'm excited about that.
Mhm. I think the most likely it's Naito gets the belt back, and then we build to Wrestle Kingdom. Well, I say that we build to whatever's next. If I have my way, we don't get to Wrestle Kingdom with Naito because of the Zack Sabre Jr. thing.
True.
Because I just think that makes the rest of the year more interesting. But you do have to start building towards the rest of the year at some point. I think that's the most likely place that we go.
Okay. So you said you had the participants for the Best of Super Juniors, correct?
Yes, I do.
Because I would like to know, because I didn't even know.
Yeah, we don't have blocks or anything yet. We got the participants.
Yeah, we just got the names.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I know about it so far that like Kushida's in there because somebody got hurt.
Yeah, because Yo.
Yeah, Yo got hurt.
He's replacing Yo. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Sho.
Mm-hmm.
We have Hiromu.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
We have Kushida replacing Yo.
Mm-hmm.
We have Taguchi, who.
Well, hold on. How about this? We know who's those guys are going to be in there.
Yeah.
Tell me who are the newer guys or some
Okay.
The wild cards.
Kevin Knight's in.
Oh yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. He's good.
So we got Bushi. Teton's back.
Oh yeah. And he's becoming a mainstay there too.
Mm-hmm. Doki's in again this year. Mm-hmm. Robbie Eagles is back in.
Okay.
We haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Clark Connors is in. Connors and Drilla Maloney
Drilla?
this year. Yes,
Drilla?
He's back.
Okay.
He's back in this year. Fujita is making his first G1.
Yeah. I like that. I hope he get a good run.
Mm-hmm. Representing Ring of Honor, Blake Christian.
Oh yeah, I think he was in the last one, wasn't he?
Not the last one. I don't think. No. It says it's his debut entry in it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. He was there for something though, wasn't he?
I think he did. Was he in a junior tag league? Maybe.
I don't know. Nah, it wasn't a tag thing. I could have swore.
Maybe it was anyway. Yeah. And then we have two people representing Pro Wrestling Noah.
Oh.
We have Hayata.
Oh yeah. I know who that is.
And then we have a favorite of yours, B-Rob. Ninja Mac is in the G1 or the Best of Super Juniors.
Motherfucking Ninja Mac.
Ninja Mac makes his Best of Super Juniors debut.
Yo, so I'm ready for Ninja Mac and Kevin Knight right off top. And then like Ninja Mac and probably Drilla. Because I mean, everybody got to fight everybody.
Most likely it's going to be A block and B block. So it
okay.
So it depends. Yeah, they haven't announced blocks yet.
Oh man, fuck.
I'm hoping a Ninja Mac Taiji Ishimori. I think that'd be really, really fun.
Ooh,
really fast.
You know what I wish from that match that we would get from that match? The Taiji Ishimori, he busts out the All-Star elbow, the Superstar elbow or whatever.
I would love to know if he can still do it because I don't think he's done it in New Japan.
I've only seen it in clips and highlights.
From Dragon Gate and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like for him to bust that out against Ninja Mac, if he can, and not hurt himself.
Yeah. It's an interesting field. Like no crazy
Ninja Mac.
There's no AEW entry this year. You got the ROH guy, but
technically,
that surprised me a little bit. But and Blake Christian's fine. Nothing crazy, but he'll play the same spot that Alex Zane did last year, I imagine.
Yeah, and we also don't have a Impact participant or whatever because we had your boy Austin.
Well, I guess you want to keep Kushida.
Well, yeah, true, kind of, yeah, but we didn't have Ace Austin or Chris Bay again.
Yeah,
and I know they were there for the tag league, but that would have been cool to have them in there because Ace Austin fucking killed it in his tournament debut. Fucking awesome shit.
But yeah, that is our field. Next time we get together, I think they'll have the blocks and everything, and we'll get into who we think's winning and how and all that. But that's
Ninja Mac.
I think
I'm not biased.
No, not at all. But yeah, I think it's a decent field this year. Nothing that wows you as far as participant, but I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there's always some fun stuff. I love
Mm-hmm.
tournaments.
Yeah.
Everybody is probably burnt out on them, but I just like anytime you say
Oh,
tournament, I'm like, yes.
yeah. Give
I
me a
got my
bracket.
fork and knife like this. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Let me
tournaments.
fill out a bracket and make a prediction or whatever. I'm all in.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh,
But that's all we got on the docket then, right?
yeah. I think the next stuff that's coming up is we also had the that Taiwan show where we got the new 6-man tag champs.
Oh. Oh yeah. That is coming up. Yeah, I forgot they did announce that.
Yeah,
So.
it already happened.
Oh, it
Yeah,
did.
it was the night after Windy City, and yeah, your new Never 6-man tag champs are Hiroshi Tanahashi, Toru Yano, and Oleg Bolton. Yeah, sure.
Do my Rainmaker pose.
Yeah,
The
it's
fuck?
it's the 6-man titles. Who cares?
Yeah, I guess.
It's that was their big thing for the Taiwan show is, hey, we'll crown a new champion here for you.
All right, well, I guess. But also, just before we part, are you checking out Soft Ground Wrestling?
Anytime it comes across the Twitter feed, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's amazing how pro wrestling brings people together or whatever. I think that's just crazy shit or whatever. That like, well, they're in Uganda, and Shima has been there with the Gleek guys to help them out and do some stuff, and then Eminem, Maximum Male Model guys, they just went from out there and did some shit with them or whatever. So I'm excited that stuff like this is happening and wrestling is bringing people together. It's fucking cool shit.
Yeah, and I think I said I think it was yesterday that the Ugandan wrestling GCW show at WrestleMania weekend next year will be great.
What?
It's a joke, but it's something that
I was like, what?
Yeah, but it feels like something Joey Janela would do.
Fuck it, do it. I want to see the what's the freaking the blow up wrestler name, the freaking DDT.
The Panda?
No, the blow up doll one.
Oh, Yoshihiko.
Yeah, I want that motherfucker going to Soft Ground.
Listen, if you want me to watch something, you tell me that's on. I'll stop my entire day. See that? Are you kidding?
That's like the next logical choice, man. Send them to Soft Ground.
Listen, I mean, honestly, I'm shocked. I would not surprise you if they did that because DDT does weird shit like that.
That's what I'm saying. It makes all the sense.
That honestly, if that hasn't happened within the next couple months, I'll be shocked.
Also, I mean, I don't know if it is going to take away from their allure, their brand that they've made, their soft ground wrestling, like actual like soft ground that they wrestle on. But I know for a while, and I think I said it before, they have a GoFundMe attached to their Twitter or social media or whatnot. So they are trying to raise funds to get a wrestling ring. So I don't know if that's still the plan, but the GoFundMe is there. If you want to show support, go find their shit and
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, that's all I got, man. You got anything?
Yeah. A couple people want me to hit just a couple things from the WrestleMania weekend.
Tell me more.
Let's hit them quickly. There's a couple matches that were like I think must watch for the weekend.
Yeah, well, one I want to know about that everybody's talked about but never actually watched was the Shayna Baszler match.
Shayna Baszler, Masha Slamovich. I'm going to tell you right now.
One of my wrestlers of the year.
Yeah,
Masha Slamovich.
I think she was the best wrestler of the weekend. As far as like quality of matches and number of matches she had, I think it was her weekend. She killed it. She had a bunch of Baszler match was really, really good. I mean, it was exactly what you wanted to be. I mean, they're just hitting the shit out of each other. They're doing great grappling. I mean, and you said you haven't watched it yet, right?
No. I'm check it out.
That's when you got to go back and watch. I mean, if they ran that back multiple times, I wouldn't be mad because it was a great match. The other person who had a really good showing on that show on Bloodsport, which surprised me, Marina Shafir. They just presented her completely different. It was she's going to kick your ass. she's going to come out, look like she's going to kick your ass, and that's it. It's just pure, just brutality. That's how
Word.
she was presented. And if anybody presented her like that on TV, I think she could get over.
Yeah.
Like, because she was really good. Like they'd had a tournament for the Bloodsport women's title, whatever, and she had 2 matches on it, and she was very good. Like she was probably my biggest surprise.
And then like she's been doing some sneaky behind the scenes stuff anyway, like training and whatnot. So I mean, I haven't seen shit from her in a long time.
Yeah, I would
but
recommend watching the 2 that she was on. Yeah.
Yeah, but like with Marina Shafir, I mean, the way she was portrayed on ROH, I mean, AEW TV and what we got from her from WWE. I mean, it was very lackluster or whatever. But I always thought that she had a look and a presence to her.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
Yeah, this proved if you present her right, she can do some work. So I would like to see somebody do that with her on TV at some point.
I'm surprised her and Shayna Baszler didn't have no interactions.
Well, I mean, they're the horsewomen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, hey, high five, slap, do something.
Yeah. It's who's Marina Shafir had Janai Kai and
Janai Kai is good. I like her.
That was a good. I think that was the first match on the card. It was the second match on the card. First match on the card was Mike Bailey and Nick Nemeth at Bloodsport, and that was fun.
My guy, guy.
It's a Taekwondo guy and a wrestler. Essentially, it worked really well. That's another one you should check out there. As far as it's on Bloodsport. Joey Janela's Spring Break. There was a Dragon Gate match on the card. It was a Dragon Gate classic team versus the Dragon Gate new blood team. And if I don't know how much Dragon Gate you've ever watched,
enough. I know Pac was champion there for a while.
So basically, that style, just quick, fast flips, all that kind of stuff. They
are the stardom of the men's division.
Yeah, that's not a bad comparison at all, actually, especially for the high speed stuff. Yeah, but that was up there with matches of the entire weekend. Like it was probably about 12, 15 minutes or so, somewhere in that range, and they're just going the entire time. It's just wild. There's one spot that I won't spoil it because you should watch it, but there's one spot they did where I was like, I don't know how someone's not dead. That's the kind of shit they do.
I mean, that's how you know it works.
Yeah. And there's 2 more matches that we had this weekend. The DDT show. I think it's Brian Keith's only appearance on the WrestleMania weekend. He teamed with Shota, not our Shota, DDT Shota, guy against Chris Brooks and Kid Lycos, CCK, and that was a really good tag match. CCK are the heels there, and Brian Keith has a.
Brian Keith didn't do the Culture Show.
Did he do the Culture? Was he on the Culture Show?
He's usually a staple there.
I think he was. Yeah, I don't remember what the match was. It wasn't like a standout. Like it was if I remember correctly. I think he was. I don't remember what the match was though. Yeah, I think he was. But yeah, that was a good match. CCK had a couple matches this weekend, and I haven't seen them tag in a while because they mostly just do it they do it a little bit in DDT, but a lot of it's in the UK, and Chris Brooks is mostly in Japan now. But the match of the weekend for me was Masha Slamovich and Shuri from Stardom. They had just killer match. I mean, it was up there with
Shuri, the one that used to be in NXT, Magical Girl Shuri.
No, that's
Saray.
Yeah.
Saray. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Shuri used to be in UFC. She's a former UFC fighter, actually.
Okay.
And she's been the Stardom champ a couple times now. But her and Masha Slamovich had a killer show. It's on the GCW versus the World show. And it's, it was up there with, like, as far as best matches of the weekend, it's that Dragon Gate one. It's like this one, on the WrestleMania, the Bailey, this was as good as that Bailey Io Shirai match.
Okay.
I think both of those. This one is a very different type of match. A bit more of a, it's not your flashy WWE match. It's more of it's more the Stardom style.
Okay.
But it was killer, and I if you're going to watch anything from this weekend, I would put that at the top of it.
Okay.
I
Noted.
think that's all I've got. The next stuff for for New Japan, we've got Dantaku, we've got Satsuma no Kuni, and then we've got All Together,
Yeah,
the big charity show.
Yeah, interested in an All Together show. Too.
They've got a couple. There's one. They just announced one match that I thought was really interesting. Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, and then like,
and then we get into Best Super Juniors after that.
Oh yeah, are they gonna do another All Star Junior Festival?
Not so far that I've heard.
Oh man, I love those shits. The American and the Japanese one. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah, that's what they just announced a Stardom match for the All Together show. That's what it was. Starlight Kid and Natsupoi against Azumi and Miyu Amasaki from TJPW.
Oh, I like Starlight Kid.
Oh, she's excellent. And the interesting thing about the main event for that show is that the New Japan representatives are Shota and Yumura.
Huh.
It's not your Tanahashi or your Shingo or Naito or anybody. They're putting the young guys up front in the main event in that.
Hell yeah, let them do it.
I think that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then after that, altogether, it's Resurgence here, and then Best Super Juniors.
All right.
So I imagine we'll be back probably week of Best Super Juniors to cover that, and then do our Best Super Juniors preview.
I'm down for that.
Sounds good.
You got anything you need to plug before you ride out?
No. If you want to get at me, I'm on Twitter at the Kaz Wheeler. Other than that, we'll see you next time.
Word. And for those of you who may have been listening to this, it's the Random Randoms with Rob, and you can find me wherever I said at the top of the show. So rewind it and listen to it all over again. And with that being said, we out this bitch, and see you next time.
Peace.